Right. So in the previous class we have discussed some control statements, like arithmetic, like what control statements we have discussed: select statements, branching loop, iterative statements, and branching statements. Right. So we have seen what are control statements. We have two different types of control statements, like if statements and select statements, and we have seen three iterative statements, like we have a while loop, do while loop, and for loop. Right. As well, we have seen so there are three branching statements, like continue, break, and return. So we start our discussion with these three statements. What branching statements? So yesterday we have completed select statements, if and switch, and when to use, where to use, these things we have seen. As well, we have completed control statements like do, do while, and for. So today we'll discuss the remaining branching or jump statements. As we discussed, there are three branching statements we have, like they are break, continue, and return. So these are the three branching statements we have, right? So branching or jump statements, we say jump statements, they are three. Right, so they are, you have the first one is break, right? The second one is continue, the third one is return. All are keywords. When you use these things in the programming, remember that everything exists in small case, no capital letters you will see in these keywords, right? Break, continue, return. So each has its own meaning, each has its own way of using, right? So we'll see what is break, where it is used, what it is going to do, and all we try to understand today. So break is a jump statement or branching statement which is going to break the continuous flow of a iterative statement or a switch statement. Already we have used this, right? Right. So branching or jump statements both are same. So already we have used these, right, in the switch. Already we have seen a program, I think. Now let me open that program. Online classes, right? No. Switch example. So here, so the break is the statement, the break is a reserved word which can be used in only two cases. It is used within switch case labels, switch case, or which is used in iterative statements, which cannot be used anywhere. If you try to use this in, apart from these two areas, if you try to use it anywhere, it is your compiler will not allow you to do this. It must be used inside switch cases or iterative statements. Apart from this, you cannot use anywhere, right? So already we have used break inside a switch. So what it is going to do here, when a condition matches, when a case label matches with this particular value, right, it is starts executing these case labels from the matching case, right? So if we don't use this break here, As we discussed, it is going to fall through the case labels. If you don't use this break here, it is going to fall through the case labels. So that means, let's see here what is going to happen here. CD online classes Java C switch example.java switch example, and case is matched with A. A is the option I have, and it is matching case is this one, and it is started executing this statement, and it is not stopping here, it is falls through. To stop this fall through of case levels cases, we'll use a break. Right, see here it is executed this and it is executed this. Now I used break here, so it stops this flow. It breaks this flow and it comes out from what? Switch. When it is comes out from switch, after switch whatever the statements we have, those statements are executed. So you can see here 1, 2 and after switch. Now if I use a break here, what it is going to do? It is going to execute that statement. This statement will be executed and it breaks that. So that means once this is printed, it breaks it. That means it is comes out from the switch and it starts executing the statements after the switch condition. Right? Switch. Right? See here we can see 1 and after switch. Right? So this is the one area where we use break. Though it is optional here, it is not mandatory to use this break here. And if you want to execute the case labels as individually, then you need to have this break, which breaks that particular switch to stop to fall through all the cases, which breaks it, and it comes out from the switch. When it encounters this statement, it comes out, it breaks that particular statement, it comes out. Right? So this is the one area where you use this break. Right? And the second area is you can use this in iterative statements. Right? So for that, let me write a simple program. Iterative statements, anyways, yesterday we have discussed. Public class break example, public static void main. Right? Now I am going to take a simple for loop to understand this. Yesterday we have discussed this. So it has 3 different parts: initialization, incrementation, initialization, condition, and semicolon. And I less than or equals to 10, a simple for loop. I am going to increment the I value. This indicates that I am going to print I value, right, from 1 to 10. I will contain each iteration of for loop. I value becomes increments by 1, right? System.out.println of something, a static text. I am appending it to a value. This is the value. Simple program with a for loop, nothing here. Now save this with a name break example.java. It's fine. Go here. It's compiled. Break example. Now it is printing 1 to 10. Now I would like to break this for loop. I don't want to execute all the statements. I would like to break this for loop. When it reaches to what? When it reaches to 5, I would like to break this. So I need to have a condition here. If what I want to do here, I would like to break this when it reaches to 5. So that is we use a operator equality operator which checks it. When I becomes 5, now what I want to do here, break. What I want to do, break. So break. Now this is for closed. Now I'm going to do something after the for. I'm going to write some println statement here. After for. But now let us run this. 1, 2, 3, 4 and after for. What happened here? What is the program flow here? Started, I value is 1, I is less than 10. Then immediate statement I have if I is not equals to 5, then it comes out, it is fail. That means it is returns you false, it will not enter into the if. It has printed this 1, then goes up, increments, then checks 2, 3, 4. Now when it becomes 5, 5 is equal to 5, condition is true, it enters in, and there it encounters a statement called as break. When it is executed, it is going to break this for loop. It is going to break this for loop, not for if. So it is not used for, it is not for if, it is for loop. When it breaks it. So it is not breaking the if condition, it breaks it. Breaking the for loop means what? It comes out. The control comes out from the for loop and starts executing the statements whatever are there after for loop. Right? So this is where we come across break. So whenever you have continuous flow of statements and if you want to break them in the middle, you can use this break keyword, and which should be used inside iterative statements or it should be used inside switch cases. Nowhere you should use them. If you use them anywhere, it will not work for you. So that means here, so here I am commenting this part, single for loop. Here this is also commented. So I am going to declare I or so I directly used it in if condition. I am going to declare it I is equal to what? 5. Now let me compile my program. It's a simple if condition, right? Nothing is there. Break it when it reaches to 5. No, there is no for. Okay, no problem. Anyways, saying what? Break outside switch or loop. No, you cannot use it. So it should be used inside loop or switch. Nowhere you can use it. Right? So this is what is the example for. So that is the syntax you have. So it should be used inside loop or switch. Right? So I'm going to write my loop back here for int I is equals to 1, I less than or equals to 10, I plus plus. My loop opens here and the for loop closes here. For loop opens there, for loop closes there, right here. Now inside this I have a if statement which breaks the for loop, when it reaches to 5. Okay, so this is where we come across break statement, break keyword, reserved word. So whenever you have continuous flow, if you want to break it in the middle or somewhere according to some kind of statement based on some kind of condition, then you can do it. Right? Remember it is going to break the for loop, not if condition. Right? So this is where it is used in only 2 scenarios, either in switch or for loops. Not for loops, any loop statement you can use. Right? So this is what we have. Now it is fine. When it reaches to 5, it is going to break it. So that means you will see only 1 to 4 statements. Right? This is where the break is the key used. Do you have any doubts in this? Yes guys, do you have any doubts in this? No, fine. Jitendra, what about you? Okay, fine. Right. So this is where the for loop, this break is used. Now where you can use it. Right. The next is continue. Right. So continue is used inside only. It is used inside only iterative statements. So you cannot use it in a switch. The only one area you can use it in iterative statements. Only one area you can use it in iterative statement. Nowhere you can use it. Right. Only one area you can use it in iterative statements. Right. So that is the way you should use this. Right. So what is it is going to do here? Right. So what it is going to do is it stops that particular statement. It stops that particular statement and it continues the flow. That means here in the place of break, if I use continue, what it is going to do here? Right. So when I reaches to 5, so the after this if condition, the statement will not be executed for only one iteration. The statement will not be executed for only one iteration. Then it continues executing. That means when it is 1 to 4, no problem. It will not enter into the if condition. Right? Then this will be executed. When it reaches to 5, so it skips the rest of the code. And it continues executing the next statements. So that means if you see this program, right? Now what it is going to do for you is, see there, 1, 2, 3, 4, but the fifth statement is skipped. You have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means when this condition is matches here, then it executes this statement. When it is executed, the rest of the code, whatever you have, that will be skipped, and it continues its execution from the next statement. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. When it becomes 5, so it is skipped this statement execution. So 5 will not be printed. Then its execution starts from what? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So break is the one which continues, which completely terminates the process. Loop. Continue terminates the loop for that particular iteration. Right? So continue terminates it for that particular iteration. Then the rest iterations are going to be continued. And it is used only in looping statements. You cannot use this anywhere. Right? So very rarely used, right? Reserved word. In the programming, we very rarely come across this. So break is the one which we come across, which you can see, but continue you don't see very regularly. Right? So this is what continue. Nothing much to discuss about this. It is very simple, used in only iterative statements. Right? So is it okay? Any questions? Yeah, Vipin. So you don't have any questions? Jitendra? Yeah, fine. So this is what you have here. So these are the two jump statements or branching statements you have. And coming to the third one, return, right? So this is the one which is used in generally whenever you write the methods in your classes. With the methods it is used. So you don't know what is method mean. So you don't understand now this when I explain. If I explain this now, you don't understand this, definitely no, right? So which is used in the methods. right? So when we discuss about the methods, when we discuss methods, there definitely we see this. Definitely we'll come across this when we talk about methods. But so this is what you have here. So these are the three different branching statements we have, and this their uses are this. This is how they are used in the programming, right? So these are control statements. So we have discussed the control statements like if, switch, for, while, do while, continue, break, right? So we'll be left with we left with one branching statement, that is return. So we discussed that later. Right? So this is what fundamentals of what Java programming. So it's not, these are all the things you will see in each and every programming, right? So these are all the things, again, not specific to Java. These are all things will be there in C. You find this in C++, everywhere in the programming world, everywhere you find these things, very fundamentals of any programming language. But so like this we have this statements. Okay, so we'll start with a new concept, right? Right. So we start with a new concept, and that concept name is a bit confusing concept, right? That concept is very interesting concept, right? That is arrays. What? Arrays. So maybe you may not completely understand this. Try to understand this because it requires some other knowledge here. Right? So here arrays. Now up to now we are discussing about what? The variables and the data. Data which is associated with the variable and all. Okay, fine. Before moving on to the arrays, just let me ask you some fundamental questions, right? So let's see how you understand this programming, right? So I'm going to write some programs here. It's one or two programs. Just give me the answers of those. So we'll see how these things works. If test is my program name. I'm going to take two variables as well, like at this I'm initializing them also. If now my condition C here, this is post incrementation operator, or we go with pre incrementation, less plus plus j, and right, again plus plus I lesser plus plus j, right? I would like to print system dot out dot println of I is equals to plus I, and I would like to print the j value also. Plus j, else right. So this is my if and else. So what would be the output of this program? This is if block, and this is else block. What is it? 1222. Vipin said 1222. Okay. Okay. Right. This is a pre-incrementation. That means I is equal to I plus 1. So I value incremented by 1 and it is stored into I. 11. 21. Condition is what? True. And it comes here. Then 11. Already I in the I you have 11. It becomes 12. Already in the J you have 21. It becomes 22. And this is true as well. This is also true. True and true. True and true. Overall result is what? True. So when you have overall result is true, it will be executed and you have 11 and 22. Right? So that is what, it's not a break example, that is Java C. If that's if condition 1222. So did you understand? Right, now I'm going to change this operator R. So if it is R, then what is the result? Same. Jitendra. Right, so both of you said same. Let me see then, is it same? It is not same. Right, so what happened here? This is a very tricky question, sir. These are called as some tricky questions. Right, so what happened here, if you clearly observe, I think you remember that chart. So whenever you have a R operator, whenever you have a R operator, out of these two conditions, if one is true, the overall result is what? True. Right? So now if you see this, the first condition itself is true. When the first condition itself is true, obviously the overall result becomes what? True. Then no need of checking the second condition. That is how this things works. So because whenever you have a R, no, any one of these two is true, the overall result is true. Now the first one itself is true. Now when the first one itself is true, no need to check the second one. So it stops it incrementing by 11, increments by 1, 11, it becomes 21 and it stops it. It will not check this. And overall result is 2, obviously, then it started printing this one. So you see 11 and 21. Okay. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. Fine. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. One more. What about others? Okay, let us run this. Else 1121. Right? So this is the AND operator I'm using. And when you have a AND, if any one of these two is false, overall result is false. So what happens here? The first expression itself is false. When the first expression itself is false, overall result is false. No need to check the second one because this is AND operator. And overall result is false, it comes to else and prints the I value 11 and it prints the J value as 21. Now here this is the one. Just I change the symbol somewhere in the middle. Okay, let us see what it is going to do. Else 11 22, right? So what is happened? The first is true and the values are changed. and because first is true, it may fail. It may fail or success because depends on the second one. If the second one is true, it is success. The second one is false, it is failed. So it is failed in the second condition, it is false. So true and false, false. Overall result is false by the term I value and j value are 12 and 22. Right? There is a reason why you can see there else. Right? So this is what we have some. This is some tricky one here. Now I'm going to write one more. Let's see here how you will analyze it. Same on the if. That's it. What is the answer for this? Don't know. Right? What do you have? B is equal to true. So false is equal to true. Let us run this. It is if. Why if? If black will be executed when you have true here. And it is true actually. Why it is true? This is not comparing. So already B value have false here. In the B I have false. Again I am initializing B with what? True. So overall result is what? B value. B value will the overall result and it has what? True. So when it is true, it is if. So if I use this one, it is comparison operator. False double equals to true. No. False not equals to true. Then it is going to execute what? Else part of this. Right? So this is assignment. But overall result you need to see here. What is the overall result? B. B value, B is the overall one. And it is contains what? True. Now when it is true, it executes what? If condition. This assignment operator. It's not comparison operator. Fine. Okay or not okay? Fine. I'm not hearing anything from you, Jitendra. Okay, fine. Just give me some replays so that I can understand. Right? So this is assignment. So overall result is true and it is if. Fine. So as we discussed actually, whenever you have if and else, and you can write like this also. Let's suppose int I is 10 if I double equals to 10, and if you want to execute only one statement, no need of using any braces, or dot println of I. Right? So if you have only one statement, no need of using any braces. This is also syntactically correct. It prints 10 because condition is true. Else also I am going to have right. So here I am going to print if, and here I am going to print else. Right? This is what? If and else. It is correct. So if is executed, only one statement is allowed. Whenever you have one statement, it is allowed. Now if I change the value of I to 11, then else, only one statement. So you can write them without braces. Not only if, you can write, right? This kind of syntax you can also use with that iterative statements also. When you have only one statement to be executed, there you can write it. Now see here, else after else, after if else. If I make it to 10, if after if else, that means only one statement is considered. Now if I write one more statement here, right, one more statement, right, first statement in if, second statement in if. So what will it is going to do for you? Right, just compile this, saying what? Else without if. What is the meaning of this? As already have given else without if, right? Already have given, you cannot separate if and else. So it is indirectly the meaning of this is, this is opened here and this is closed here after this, and you are separating this else with what? If, writing this statement. So it is not allowed. So when you have only single statement to be executed, you can write without braces. Absolutely valid. Right? And one rule is that that statement should not be an, when you have only single statement, that statement should not be an initialization statement. No, it is not. It should not be an initialization statement. There is no meaning of initializing there. Right? It should not be an initialization statement. This is the one rule you have. So you can have only one statement. When you have only one statement to be executed, so absolutely you can go with this kind of syntax. Right? Is this okay? Yes. So this statement is not part of if, this statement is not part of else. It is out of else part. Right? Now there is one operator is given for us. So you can use that operator which works in the same way. We call that operator as ternary operator. What is that operator we call as? Ternary operator. It is arithmetic operator. So in the place of if, you can use this. In the place of if, you can use this. This is called as ternary operator. Right? So how this operator looks? So condition, question mark. Here it takes statement 1 and here it takes statement 2 and semicolon. So this is how it is going to be. Same like if the condition returns you true, the statement 1 will be executed. The condition returns you false, the statement 2 will be executed. Same like if else. One operator which is given. So you can use this operator instead of what? If else. Right? Let's suppose I am going to do like this. So I am initializing int I is equals to 10, int j is equals to 20. Right, my condition is I less than j. Now I'm going to write 10 here, I'm going to write 20 here. Now whatever the result it generates, I would like to store that result into a variable called as k. Now I would like to print a system dot out dot println of k is equals to plus k. Right, so this is what ternary operator. So what it is going to do, this is the condition. If it is returns true, this 10 will be stored into k. If it returns false, this 20 returns stored into what? K. Let's see, the program name is ternary operator. Fine, I have saved it. Java C. Oh, it's error here. It is asking me something is expected. What is that? Something is expected. Fine. Okay, let's see here what it is going to do. It's a compile time error. It is asking me something is expected. Okay. I would like to write like this. Too many errors here. Illegal start of expression. So why these many errors it is throwing me? The condition and the value. Okay. Okay, sorry, this is not the correct syntax. Question mark here, colon here. Let me see, let me run this. Yes, that is the wrong syntax I have given. So what is the syntax for this? So what is the syntax for this? The condition always should return you boolean value, then question mark. After question mark you will have statement 1 colon statement 2. This is the correct syntax. This is called as ternary. I missed that colon. Right, so here's what it is going to do here. If the condition is true, the statement will be executed. condition is false, this statement is executed. So overall what happens in my expression? So this is true, that means I value will be stored into what? I value will be stored into k. If it is false, j value will be stored into what? K. It's fine, compiled. Let me run this. K is 10 because the condition is true. Now if I make it false, so whenever you have if condition, you can replace that instead of writing that big if, open, close and all. Right, k is equal to 20. Right. So this is what ternary operator. Here you can write anything actually. Not only this, you can write can I write system.out.println? Can I write? Is it possible? Is it allows me? Not required this one. Saying too many errors here. Right? Is it not to load then? Saying what? Not a statement. It's not a statement it is saying. Right? So it is not allowing you to write a system.out.println. No. Yeah. Right? No. So you cannot write these things. No. Right? So this is what we have ternary operator. So it is, you can use it for simple replacement for what? Replacement for if else. Right? You can continue with this if else if you don't want to write like this. Here you can have one more condition. Right? And you can continue that if else if like this. Right? So this is what you have. System.out.println. So instead of storing this into some temporary variable, writing like this, is it 20? Right? So this is what ternary, if else, same. Ten. Right? So this is what ternary operator. You can use it with instead of what? If else. Okay? Right? Is it okay? What is this? Condition statements. One more operator which we have not discussed that day, because if you want to understand, you need to understand what is if else. Fine then? Okay, so this is what few tricky things which with this if and all same you can find these things with iterative statements also. Absolutely will find these things in the iterative statements also. Right. So this is what something related to control statements. Right. So I would like to actually stop this class here because I'm expecting